Hey, what's up guys? This is Val from Dreamlight. I'm always looking for new stuff to test and use in my renders. And recently I stumbled upon the great models from axyz-design. And I've seen these models before many years ago when they just started out, and they had a kind of limited, spectrum of the things they had available. And so recently I took another look and found these gorgeous looking models that are ready to render pretty much off the bat. With a few tweaks, I want to show you how to load them into DAZ Studio. But the thing is, these models, this is not a Genesis 8 character. This is just a photo scan model that you load ready posed, ready textured, with everything already taken care of. And they look almost looks like a photo, don't you tell? Because these are 3D scanned people, right? And if you take a look at the side, and we'll just go and click on shopping here, and I'm gonna browse 3D people which are posed, all right? And I'm gonna go for single models. I want to choose gender female. There's male obviously as well, and you can choose different categories like business, casual, gym, hospital, events, swimwear, and construction. I'm gonna choose business for now, and you can also choose season, places, ethnicity, and so forth. And really, what's cool about these is that clothing really drapes in a specific way when you capture a real person, right? There's folds and all that kind of stuff that is just frankly only available when you really capture a photo. And so these are kind of, I should say, low resolution models with pretty good textures, but the hair doesn't look really super advanced, right? So if you want to have more advanced hair, we have to use the real models, obviously from DAZ. But these are great because they are low polygon. They don't take up much space. They don't have many textures. They're easy to use, and they're ready posed, ready dressed. The hair is already applied. Everything is ready, and they look very realistic at the distance. If you get too close, you're gonna see it's low poly. But I mean, there's pros and cons with everything in 3D, right? The real models we have take up a lot of space. You need to set up poses and all that, which gives you, of course, more freedom. But these just look amazing. I really like, and also it's real people. You can sense it's real people. Now, when you grab them inside DAZ Studio, you don't go to the content library. You have to import them as OBJ. They come in many formats, one of which is OBJ. So this is the folder that holds the OBJ looks like. And I'm going to just load one of these, which is the beach girl you just saw. And basically just load OBJ and click on open. And I'm going to just use Lightweight preset. That works pretty well off the bat. And it loads all the color options all at once, which is a small drawback because you have really a kind of memory saving component from the fact that they are low poly, right? And now they load 5 models at the same time. Well, that's not low poly no more. So eventually you want to kind of load this into a modeling software and remove the other girls you don't want to use, or people or men or whatever you have, and load it here. As you can see, they load with the textures already applied. So they are ready to render off the bat. Now, there's a few tweaks you can do to make them look more realistic. I'm going to show you what in a second. First of all, we want to get rid of the other girls. And there is a way of doing that inside DAZ Studio by simply expanding in the Surfaces tab and selecting. It's a single surface for everything, which is kind of cool, but also kind of limited because you cannot differentiate, like clothing from skin. It's all the same. But the first thing you want to do is simply just tone down the opacity. That removes the entire figure for this case. You can also use the tool, surface selection. Let me just look at it, surface selection, and you can click on the model you don't want to have, and then it's automatically selected here in the Surfaces tab, and then you can just bring down opacity to 0. Click on this one, opacity to 0. Click on this one, opacity to 0. So that's the first thing you want to do. So the second thing you want to do is to, when you have the correct model applied here, which is this one, right? You want to turn them into array presets or shaders. So go into shaders, array, and click on Uber Base. That will load, all the array specific settings which you need in order to create a more realistic skin. And now we're gonna load Genesis 8 female, all right, characters, and basically you can just load the base model. If you just load the basic female, I'm gonna just load that. I just think they look awesome. They have this cool photo feel to them. They kind of look like almost like a photo, because they are a photo, right? So now we have a real model loaded here. Let me put some clothing on her. So clothing. You can see it takes longer to finalize our well-known characters, right? You have to put clothing on them and all that. So let me just bring her real quick. One piece swimsuit. There we go. All right. And so what you want to do here is, I'm going to just move it a little bit to the side. All right. And whoops, the clothing wasn't really applied to her. It was applied to wrong girl. So let's apparent fit to, fit to Genesis female. There we go. Now, what we want to do is copy the surface settings. So let me just look at texture shaded. And really, you want to select the base female here, Genesis 8, then go in here and choose one of the skins. So you don't want to just click on skin, because that kind of like has all different texture settings and all that. You want to click on one of the surfaces, like for instance the torso. That's okay. When you have that clicked, you go to copy, selected surfaces, then you select the girl we have here. Use surface selection, which is this one, right? It's just a single surface. Now, because we have now array settings applied, we can choose paste. Now, this will ruin the whole texture thing, all right? But everything else is the same as on the Genesis 8 figure. We have the correct, subsurface scattering, translucency, all that. Everything is correctly applied. What we just want to do is update the texture. So I'm going to just click here, click on, this is for the base color, right? So D stands for diffuse. So I'll click there and just reapply. And what you really can do is apply the same texture to different options. Here on translucency, I can select this specularity map. Translucency weight, you can actually apply this map here again and just be a little bit playful with that. Glossy, do the same thing, specularity. Glossy reflectivity, you can apply here. In this case, I would just choose, because we just have a single channel. This texture here, as you can see, has low reflectivity on the clothing, which is what we need here, right? Then we have bump. On the bump, I'm going to use the main diffusion. Top coat, I'm going to use specularity map. Then we have here top coat reflectivity. I want to control that as well with the specularity map. Then we have transmitted color. You can change that as well with specularity map. Control just where it goes or not, because we just have a single color, right? Single surface. And you also want to apply the normal map. So here, I want to click on browse. Or better off, select one of the maps we have available here. And then go and click here again. Click browse now. And now select the normal map, which is this one. That gives extra detail up close. Sorry, that was the base bump. Let me select the normal map is over here. And for normal, right? So now I can get rid of the Genesis 8 figure, and we have now the model over here. I can just load a cool set. I'm gonna use just Cake and Bob's really excellent depth of field compatible beach settings, which I adore. They are just awesome. And I'm gonna add a real camera, so forth. I'm gonna use NVIDIA our preview and deselect our model. One thing though is that these models just tend to look a little bit darker. So one thing you want to do is adjust the emissive property here. So select white, and you cannot just select white because that's gonna kind of, like, as you can see, make the whole model brighter. But you want to add here on the emission color texture the diffuse map that will darken the emission on the clothing and hair, right? And now you just have a model here that you can adjust intensity on so that she matches the set and receives, the kind of intensity she needs to have. So you can increase the luminance here to make her skin glow a little bit more. And if that's too much, you can just lower it a bit. Frankly, guys, that's pretty much it. That's how easy it is to use these models. I find them awesome for mid-range or distant background objects because they are so incredibly quick to use. There's literally no setup time. You just load them, adjust a few things, and you have them ready. Ready post, ready with hair, ready with clothing. Everything is done for you, and they look perfect at a distance, right? Now, when you get too close to them, you're gonna obviously face a few issues, one of which is that you're gonna face the resolution decays, right? You kind of feel that, all right, it's a low res model, you can feel that. And also when you get really close and zoom in, you kind of get, no, the texture doesn't really survive that as well. But they look darn impressive for low res models, very impressive. So at close range, don't use them. At mid range, certainly, and of course at longer distance as background objects. Super easy to use, very quick, look amazing, and pretty low cost. I think I got this for 19 euro or something like that, which is a great price considering it's ready to use straight off the bat. They have posing done, clothing done, everything is completed. What we can do here is just raise the ground a little bit, so we can use ground maybe -1 to raise the ground a little bit, -2. Sorry, the other way, right? There we go, just to match the real height and so forth. So guys, that was pretty much it. If you found this is cool, check out the website below with the link. I've been using these for several weeks now. They work excellent each and every time. And so thanks for watching, guys. Have fun. Comment below if you liked the video.